baby's arse.
Now, Steve, why is it so important for a gentleman to remove all the rust from his back door?
That's funny you should ask that, Stephen. Steve, apologies. Well, I've seen many occasions of rusty back doors where people have been, travelling down the road and there's just stuff falling out all over the place,
Well, you've seen lots of rusty back doors.
Oh yes. I've worked on a few. Wow. Yeah.
So you'd be an expert now?
A back door
In rusty back doors?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I've cut a lot of rust out of back doors and patched them up.
Really?
Yes. Rust-free back door, Steve. Rust-free. Oh, we've already explained that, boy, Yeah.
How smooth is that?
That's as smooth as a baby's arse. A grass-fed baby, obviously. Not a vegan. Well, they are vegan, aren't they? Grass-fed? Well, I don't know. No, they're not. They have dairy, don't they? Yeah. But it is smooth. It's nearly as smooth as my arse, actually.
Is it very, very smooth?
It is very good, Steve. And I'm probably wasting my time with this because the spoiler goes over the back of that, over the top of that. But what I want to do is get this all nice, and then my little tool that I made earlier, I'm going to do the same thing as I did with this side. Put a little bit of bog on there, just to make that profile the same all the way across. So I just got to smooth this off because there's a couple of little dings and dents here and there. So I'll get that smooth first, then I can use my little thingo and shit. Just going to get rid of most of that crap. Just before I use my profile tool. Whatever. I reckon that's nearly there, Steve.
Wow.
Beautiful. Well, what I do is I'll knock up a little bit of splodge on the splodge board. Bring it over here. Now to Steve. I've had this splodge board probably about 10 years. And you can tell it's 10 years old because you count the rings in the wood.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's plywood.
Looks like it's had a few splodges.
There's had a bit of splodge on there. Well, I'm not going to knock up too much. I'll probably just do a little bit at a time because it goes off pretty quickly because it's bleeding out in here. Might just have that much. Maybe just a little bit more. Like that. Now, where's my hardener? Here it is. It's not too much, Steve.
Just a little pea.
Pete with a golf ball, isn't it? Trouble is the nozzle's blocked. Fucking. It will just go. Let's try and do that.
Looks like he's got prostate trouble.
Yes. It's quite common for this age of tube, as you well know. Blimey. It's very blocked. There we go.
Strong smell, eh?
It is. Bring back memories, does it?
Absolutely. 1976. The old man's Vauxhall Victor. With rotten wings.
How about the back door? Was that rotten?
No, I think it was fairly clean and tidy, actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
didn't think they had anal bleaching back then.
No, they probably just call it something else.
Right, let's chuck some of this on here. Not too much, that Steve.
No,
Because the more you put on, the more you've got to sand off.
sparingly.
Sparingly, yes. But it's probably too much, to be fair. And then get my little gizmo. And we'll just stick him in there and we'll just drag him round nice and gently.
Well, you're handling your tool quite well there.
Thank you very much. I think doesn't work very well on that bit. Let's try on there, put a bit more on there. Might have to revisit that bit. I'm not liking that there, Steve. I'm not liking that at all. So I might do that. Bit of freehand. Better. And the window rubber goes all over here anyway. But we might as well get it as posh as poss. Don't you know?
Have you got the window for it? You got that one?
No, I've got one over there, the one that came out of it. I just got to get it out without breaking it because I thought they might be rare as rocking horse poo. But I just cut the rubber,
Yeah.
so I will have to buy a new rubber.
It would be easy to find new rubber for it.
Yeah, so Rimmer Brothers in the big stink back in the UK.
Alright.
Should be able to get one from there. Don't know how good they are, but better than what I've got, which is stuff all, to be fair. So, what I might do is I might adjust my tool a little bit, don't you know?
Well, a gentleman sometimes needs to adjust his tool.
He does. And keeping your tools clean is quite important as well. You don't want to end up with big clumps of stuff on your tool,
No.
you know, otherwise it's hard to get off.
Yes, always clean.
So I use two scrapers. Clean the other scraper with the other scraper, and clean me 10-year-old board. It's all a little rock and roll again, look. No trees were killed in the making of this bit of filler, apart from the one that died for the wood. It only died once. I know you can buy paper sheets to mix up your body filler on. That's a waste of trees.
Recycling.
Yes.
You're recycling an old rover.
I am recycling a rover, Stephen. Yeah. And we've got a long way to go with it as well. Just out of interest, look at the door gaps. Can you zoom in on them door gaps? This is the Midlands' finest work.
I can't zoom any further than that, but we can see those gaps from here. That is quality British engineering.
Well, it is. They're about, I'd say, between 10 to 12 millimetres, which is pretty good for back then, I guess. But I intend to reduce that gap to about 3 to 4 millimetres by welding on some 3mm welding rod down the two sides of it, just so it looks nice, you know, so people don't look at it and go, that's why British Leyland went bust.
Although, some people will look at it and think it's not authentic because it's not got poor build quality.
Well, that is also true. That is also true. But it's better to have a decent door gap, Steve. You know?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I suppose what you're doing is you're improving it, right?
Yeah. Well, you don't want a large crack. You need a very, very small crack.
The smaller the crack, the better. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So very, very, very slight, crack down there.
Yeah.
So you can't get your fingers in. You don't want to be able to get your fingers in it. There's more than one reason you don't want that. Like a child could easily get their fingers trapped in there because the door would close totally.
Yeah.
Whereas if you only got a small crack and you try to stick your fingers in,
Yeah.
it's probably much impossible, Probably just slice the fingers off. But I think that's better.
So, smaller crack, less problem with the fingers.
Exactly. Yeah. And it looks nicer.
Yeah, smaller crack does it.
I'll let that go off a bit, Steve, I think. Noisy, isn't it?
It is a bit noisy in the old workshop.
Well, I've got rather large flaps on that,
Ah.
and they catch the wind, which is also a problem.
What is it, the fan?
It's my largest fan. It's my biggest fan.
Your biggest fan?
My biggest fan.
Huge flaps on that fan.
I know. I am going to probably do a bit of surgery on there and reduce the size.
Of the flaps?
Half the size of the flaps is what I want to achieve on that, and then they shouldn't be flatting up when the wind hits it. It won't all flap about, blow around. It should be quieter, seal up better.
So you're going to trim the flaps?
Yeah, I think it'd be better for people to look at from the outside as well. Because at the moment, it just looks too big. There, it's going now. Unbelievable. Yeah. You need to make one of those balls, Steve, the old clapper.
Ah.
Hey.
Light camera action?
Yes. What's that like? Let's give it a blow. I might use my larger blower, I think. But it might make a huge mess in here, mightn't it? No, I won't do that.
Can we have guest stars every week?
Guest stars?
Can we have Kylie Minogue next week?
Well, I'll ask her.
Okay.
I'll ask her. She only lives over the road, eh?
Really?
Well, across the ditch, mate.
What? The other side of the tracks?
Yeah, just like, what? I think she's Australian, isn't she? Or does she live in the UK?
No.
She might live in the UK, yeah.
She might.
It's going to get a bit noisy. That's better. Much better. Don't want to keep blowing it all around in here, eh? Makes a hooer of a mess.
Yeah, keep the workshop tidy, mate.
I'm just going to take a little bit off the bottom of this, I think. That's better. Ah, yes. That's just the ticket, Steve.
Is that
That is.
perfect?
Just the ticket. It was just a little bit too long. So now, if I knock up a little bit more splodge, look at that bit there.
What, even more splodge?
Even more splodge stuff. And it's not thick, it's just smoothing out the wrinkles, you know what I mean? The biggest thing is having metal underneath it and not rust.
Yeah, that's a very good point. How many hours do you think you're going to spend on this tailgate?
Oh, it's 2 years so far. Well, no, it's not been 2 years, but it's been 2 years worth of footage since I started buggering around with it.
What, just the tailgate?
Just the tailgate, that's because I haven't had enough time to go and play with it, you see.
Right.
So I really got stuck into it only a week and a bit ago, I suppose. And yeah. But it's worth it, It's the original part of the car. It's like, would you like it if, say, for example, we chopped one of your legs off, or one of your legs was damaged, and chop the fucker off? Or you say, oh, can you fix it up? Fix it up, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Put another one on, so like you could get a donor leg.
So here's the thing though as well, even if you wanted to get another one, would you be
Here's one out there. So I've actually got a tailgate that's, I don't know the condition of it though, because it's still got the window rubber in there, and you don't see all the rust and shit before until you take the rubber out. But what I do know is most of the underneath's been cut away. So all of the gubbins underneath that holds all of the lights and everything in has been removed, because the guy I got it from, who popped his clogs, was a keen Rover fanatic. He used to race them, and the one that was out there was going to be another, like a fast road car, so he was lightening the shit out of it, so he cut everything away that he could cut away, including that bit on that tailgate, because it would have been perfect if it's not rusty. But,
so is the majority of the rust in something like that underneath?
Underneath the rubber, yeah. So you
Which
see,
makes sense, because that's where the water will get trapped, right?
yeah. So you see a swelling. You know, you get a swelling under the rubber, and then it will just be like crap like that, like it was. Which we don't want. No one wants a big swelling on their back door.
No. I was thinking more of a swelling in the rubber.
No. Well,
I mean, if you're going to have a swelling anywhere, maybe it should be in the rubber.
right, as long as it's sealed.
Yeah.
Right, I'll just knock up a little bit more sponge to it, Steve. Get a little clean up on me bit of wood. Very important to get this right. It's probably not that important actually, is it? Because it's covered with that big spoiler. See that big boot spoiler there? Over on to the bench to Steve.
That big boot spoiler there.
Covers
Yes.
about 95% of the back of the car.
Right, but of course, that's not going to fit properly if that isn't smooth, right?
No, but I am gonna. So what I've got to do once I've.
It's just gone off. Why has it gone off?
It sometimes goes off. If you press that button on that remote control in the middle just once, and it's still working. It's saving the battery, you know.
As if by magic.
It's Chinese.
Right, now, okay, so, sorry, I was saying that it needs to be as smooth as possible so that the spoiler fits.
Yeah.
We
So
call that a spoiler, that's an aerofoil rather than a spoiler, isn't it?
no, that's a rear spoiler.
Okay.
Aerofoils, I think, more the ones that stand up, like on a Formula One car.
Okay.
And whatsoever. This is not a Formula One car, by the way, Steve. This is a Rover.
This is a Rover, this is quality.
Although they did make a fantastic Bathurst beast, the Rovers, but I believe the Australians banned them.
Why? Too fast?
Obviously, anything that's too fast, they ban, like Cosworths and whatever, and all that, you know, being beaten. But I think the main bit of it was a grey area. It has to be a production car, so it was the Vitesse, I believe, which was, you know, a fast car.
Yeah.
But the race team had modified the valve train, so they'd put solid lifters in it and solid rockers, adjustable rockers, so as it would rev higher. And of course, that's not standard equipment. So yeah, they banned them. But they were bloody good by all accounts. I never saw them. I'm too young. You probably remember them, wouldn't you?
No, well, you do look very young though. It's almost like you're getting younger.
Well, yes, isn't it?
Benjamin Button.
I think it might be red wine. I think it pickles you.
Red wine and hot tubs.
And hot tubs, yes. And obviously talking bollocks helps.
Well, of course it does.
Oh, that's much better. Look at that. That's actually very pleasing, Stephen. Very pleasing.
Yeah, I think you got it right there now.
It's amazing what a little bit of adjustment on your tool makes.
Well, again, you know, precision on the tool.
Yeah. Don't want to go too mad, but getting this profile right. If anyone ever takes the tailgate off, I don't know why they would, and takes the spoiler off, just to have a look, they go, oh, look at that. That's nice under there. But I should imagine this car should stay in the family. Bloody well wants to, because when I'm too old to drive and all that sort of crap, this will be Nellie's, my little girl, so she'll inherit all of my old shit. She's so lucky.
She is very, very lucky girl. She'll be quite lucky with this one though, because by the time she's old enough to drive it,
It'll be worth a fortune.
yeah, it's worth more than it is now anyway.
Well, I think they're pretty expensive now, to be fair.
Only if they're going.
Eh?
Only if they're going.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, they're going. But even if you buy a wrecked one, I think seen some chats on the there's a road rescue one, like club, like modified and standard ones and whatever. And I often see people on there asking if anyone knows where there's a Rover going, because they want one, but they're all just too expensive.
They have a pretty big following, Rover, don't they?
Oh, they do. I mean, that engine has been in so many cars. It's, I mean, Top Gear did it. Do you remember the Top Gear where they did? I think they got all the cars that had the Buick V8 in it, and there was tons and tons and tons of them. TVR is one of the best. Obviously, they developed the engine and made it kick out shitloads of horsepower. Range Rovers. I think there's some ambulances had them in the UK.
Well, so it's originally an American engine?
It is, funny enough, yes. The Septics came up with it, and this has all been documented, by the way, by, I think it's on Top Gear, again, but it was, the CEO of British Leyland was on holiday in the States, in the US and A, and he come across it somewhere in a scrapyard, and I thought, oh, that's novel, aluminum. Apparently the Americans, they tried it, but they didn't like aluminum engines.
Why not?
They're too light. You need a heavy-arsed engine in your car, about 8 litres, 8 or 10 litres, something like that.
140 horsepower.
Oh, if that, yeah. So yeah, they bought the rights to it, and then they developed it, and yeah, haven't looked back since. It's been an icon. And I've had a few of them as well. I built an off-roader with one in, based on a Range Rover. I had a Willys Jeep, Mahindra Jeep, with a Range Rover engine in it, back to front. I had one of those back in the UK years ago that fell apart on me, pretty much just rusted out, because that's what happens in the UK.
So how long are we going back, this Buick engine? How long are we going back?
Well, it's back to the 60s, I think. 60s, I think, 1960s. There was in the P6, Rover P6, and it might have been in the earlier one as well. It was in the earlier one. So it's quite a long time ago.
So the engine that you've got in this is a variation of that?
The engine in that one is a Range Rover, 1996 Range Rover HSE 4 litre Thor. So it's a Thor engine apparently, which is cross-bolted mains. So the shells. Is this going above your head, Stephen? Just say.
But I'm interested. It might be, but I'm interested.
So the main bearing shells normally just bolt caps up through the block like that. Well, the Rover and a lot of performance cars are bolted through the side as well. So that's got the caps are bolted side and up like that. Yeah. That's your exits. Yeah. So very strong. It strengthens the block up pretty much. Stops it, twisting and moving.
Yeah.
And I think you can get upwards of like 4 or 5 horsepower out of them with various bits and bobs.
You need a supercharger to do that.
Oh, what, supercharger or turbos or different induction systems or whatever. But this one I've got that supercharger on there, which I did a video on a couple of years ago I think. But it's off of a Jaguar, 4 litre Jaguar, so it's the right capacity.
Off again.
Does that, doesn't it?
On off again, back on again.
On and off. Yeah. I'm liking this, but
So why Rovers for you, Tim?
I think it's because they're pointy.
Pointy.
Yeah, the shape. And it's and rumour has it was based on the Ferrari Daytona. The shape of it was sort of loosely based on.
That makes a lot of sense.
And you can see
That
it in
makes
the,
a lot of sense to me.
yeah, and they did do a kit for these in the UK where you could turn your Rover SD1 into a Ferrari Daytona
That
replica.
front end is reminiscent of a Daytona.
Did Ferrari copy this or did we copy Ferrari?
Ferrari probably copied this.
Yeah, they like that bloody Italians, eh?
So here's the thing, right? When this is ready and it's finished,
About another 10 years.
are you going to be cruising around in it thinking that you are Don Johnson?
I have got a Don Johnson jacket.
Actually, you've got a Don Johnson wig.
I have got
seen it.
I have got a wig as well and a pair of white trainers. So yeah, I could do. Yeah, and yeah. But it's just getting the time to do anything like this. Lucky I've got this dirty great big workshop and kitting it out of all the tools I need. Because I used to work out of a little tiny shed here and back in the UK in a little shed or the bloody floor of your driveway, you know, out in a shit. So very fortunate to have this lovely big workshop, isn't it?
And it is a lovely big workshop.
It is a lovely big workshop. It's got hoists, lots of kids stuff in here, toys, which need to be moved really. But no, it is.
And the Ferrari inspired Rover.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't think Ferrari would have door gaps like that.
Probably not. Although they've probably got their own build quality issues.
Alright. Would you chilblains want?
They're not children, they are monsters.
Are you going to go and clean up all that crap for me?